Okay, they're talking about microbes being found in the space station up to 4 months after they left the space station. The same guy's microbes. They can tell. Everybody has different stuff. Here's what it says. And I said, we got an issue. This is social distancing on steroids. Of all the body areas sampled in the population and the environment, surface samples most closely resembled those found on the astronaut's skin. In all, the astronaut's microbiome contributed to 55% of the surface microbiome found during the individual's flight, the data showed. This person's microbiome also lingered to a lesser degree in the surface samples taken 4 months after the crew member of the station left. The microbiome, anything that's biome, microbes, are biological. Now, if they're finding their microbes 4 months after, see, astronauts leave microbial fingerprint. That's virus. That's 4 months after they leave. So they could be in a room and then they leave 4 months later. You go in there, you got some microbes that they had left. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like we got a little more looking into things. So anyway, I got into that and then I started to, I was just going to do something simple. And then it turned into the same thing it always turns into. I got upset. So if you want to stick around, stick around. Okay, my friends, Roger Mud Fossil University. Let's see what life is like today. Another day in Mud Fossil land.
Dr. Judy Mikovits has been called one of the most accomplished scientists of her generation. Her 1991 doctoral thesis revolutionized the treatment of HIV/AIDS. At the height of her career, Dr. Mikovits published a blockbuster article in the journal Science. The controversial article sent shockwaves through the scientific community as it revealed that the common use of animal and human fetal tissues were unleashing devastating plagues of chronic diseases. For exposing their deadly secrets, the minions of Big Pharma waged war on Dr. Mikovits, destroying her good name, career, and personal life. Now, as the fate of nations hang in the balance, Dr. Mikovits is naming names of those behind the plague of corruption that places all human life in danger. So you made a discovery that conflicted with the agreed-upon narrative.
Correct.
And for that, they did everything in their powers to destroy your life.
Correct.
That's standard operating procedure in academia and anybody that's in authority. I have found out. It's unfortunate. It's very, very distressing. That I found that anybody that's in any form of authority, it seems, is strictly in it for their self-interest. That whatever they can take out of it for personal gain or status or something that make them feel that they have some accomplishment that's overrides everybody else. Like, people say, oh, I'm bragging, you're just all big ego, you're always saying this and that. No, I'm not. I am just presenting information about how we have been deceived, literally deceived. I'm sorry. This has really affected my life. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm making a change in the way I present things. I was starting to get really testy and nasty, and it was really, really very, very distressing to my life for years now. And I just finally decided I'm just not going to do that way of feeling anymore. I'm just going to make the presentations. You take it for wherever you want. But it's terrible. It's a disaster. And we're really just being used. And God said this too. And it's against God. It's the things that are against God. Because God said, do unto your others the way you would want them to do unto you. And that is absolutely not happening. And here's what else he said about the teachers. Okay, I study all the old texts. All of them. Every bit of them. And the Bible has some really good stuff. Peter 2:2-4, 2:3, whatever it is. In their greed, these false teachers will exploit you with tales they have concocted. The long-standing verdict against them remains in force, and their destruction does not sleep. God did not spare the angels when they sinned, cast them into hell, delivering them into chains to be held in gloomy darkness until their judgment. Now, so they're only there until their judgment. Now, he did not spare the ancient world when he brought the flood on its ungodly people, but he preserved Noah, who was righteous. He was good. He was a truthful, honest, righteous person. All the rest are going to be in trouble. And it sounds to me, if I was a teacher, I'd be shaking in my booties right now. Okay, this is about the ancient past. There were also false prophets among the people back then. Now, just as there will be false teachers among you, among us, they will secretly introduce destructive heresies like evolution, Big Bang, no God, no soul, no eternity, no obligations, that even deny the master who bought them with his own life. That's what Jesus did. He came down here, he said, look, you either come with me or you're going to hell. And I am going to show you that I am so dedicated to you, and I just don't, that just blows my mind why he would bother to do this. I would have just flushed them all down the toilet. And I would do it today, too. I got to be honest with you. I'd do it, it'd be gone in a second. But he gave his life up. He let them beat him up and harass him and destroy him and tack him up against a cross and kill him. All right? Many will follow in their depravity these other ones that have brought falseness to us. And because of them, the way of truth will be defamed. And it has been defamed by the ones we trusted. Again, I don't want to get ugly about it, but it's just a fact. The big universities have dismissed and all of the evidence that I presented. To Yale, I presented DNA and CAT scans. Well, they wouldn't take it. They wouldn't look at it. But it just goes on for years. 8 years I tried with them. And I've been talking about them with kind of harsh terms because it should be talked harshly. They, as far as I'm concerned, they have changed. They have done what they shouldn't do. And they really have entered into what looks to me like criminal behavior by trying to dismiss the scientific evidence that I presented, CAT scans. Well, again, they would not look at it. Now, I believe it's their obligation to at least look at something that has that kind of documentation behind it. So what is that? It's, and when you look at what it says about it, it appears to be criminal activity. And, they should be, there's penalties for this, very serious penalties. And as far as I could determine, and the lawyers, I've been talking with a group of lawyers, and they agree with me 100%. They say, no, I'm not saying anything I shouldn't say. Everything that I have said is true, and it is true, and I have all the support to back it up as true. So, I shouldn't be able to be sued for anything. I didn't make any false statements. They're terrible. They're terrible, terrible, terrible things that they're doing there at Yale. But that's not, I'm not lying about it. I'm telling the truth. So, how will this end? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. But to walk away from truth will put me with them at some point in hell. I'm not going to hell. Not if I can help it. I'm looking at these things. See what's in front of you, for there is nothing hidden. Jesus said, recognize what is in your sight, and that is which is hidden from you will become plain to you. And it is. All of the people now are saying to me, I walk around now, I feel like I'm in a brand new world. When I walk outside, I see things that I never saw before in the rocks. And they're seeing lungs. It's a lung. They're seeing dragon scales. Huh? That's a dragon scale. That's where the blood goes in to feed the dragon scale right there. And that's the tab that holds it in. And that's a dragon scale. And the dragons are all over the earth. And on top of that, listen to this. Well, listen to this first. It says, Jesus said to his disciples, it's inevitable. Stumbling blocks will come, like the one from Derek Briggs in Yale. But woe to the one through whom they come. It will be better for him to have a millstone hung around his neck and thrown into the sea than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. Watch yourselves. Yale, Derek Briggs. I am the little one that God's talking about. And he also says, in that day the Lord will punish Leviathan, the fleeing serpent, with his fierce and great and mighty sword, even Leviathan, the twisted serpent, and he will kill the dragon who lives in the sea. Let's take a look at that. So, my friends, what do you see here? I see the Sahara Ocean. If I was back 12,000 years ago. However, what I see now is the Sahara Desert, where the fierce and great and dragon and Leviathan were swimming around in this gigantic sea, and then the great and mighty sword of the Lord cut the dragon's throat, and he bled out in the desert. These are the dragon scales. That is the dragon's throat. It is cut with a great and mighty sword. Now, the things that I'm talking about, open your eyes, see what's in front of you. Don't put stumbling blocks in front of the ones that are telling the truth. And you that are untruthful will pay the most incredible price that you could possibly imagine. I have been studying what they say happens, and man, I'm telling you, my friends, you do not want that to happen to you. And I can see virtually everybody I've dealt with in the academic realm will spend their eternity in hell. I would say 100% right now. Okay, my good mud fossil friends, we all know what that is right there. That's a blood vessel. You see how much angle this around. You can see the depth of it. You see the holes down in there. And then let's come down here. You see the blood running out there. Focusing on that. You see that nice red blood there? Now, let me come over here. There's another spot where we got some red blood going in. Whoops. Right over here. This is pretty good. You see the little holes going down in there in the red blood? Oh, you know what this is? It's a dragon scale. That, my friends, is a dragon scale. So if you think there's no dragons just hanging around, they're all over the place. You see that? That came from my good friend Greg Morrison. We call him Dragon Greg, and that's the tab that holds the dragon scale in. And he also sent me feathers from another huge dragon. Feathers, look at the size of the feathers. That's the thickness of the feathers. That's a feather right there. See that? That's the thickness. Here, let me turn the lights on. Hold on. Oh, okay. Here we go. That's a feather. See, that's a feather. Right there. That's the thickness of one, and then it goes down there. You see the dark. That if you we could look at it at the microscope. You'll be able to see something of the feathering pattern, and that's the other side of it. They just feather, feather, feather. Gigantic creatures, absolutely. Here, let me show you what it looks like where he took it from. All right, there's some feather pattern there. Greg sent to me. This was down. I think this is down in Pennsylvania. I think. Here's one. Oh, here's one big one here. There we go. You see it? This is the road over here. This is the patterns of the feathers. I think this is where he got this one from, right in this area somewhere. Maybe right off of there. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he took it right off of there. But there, well, you see it. I said, this is look at the size. That's the same thing that I'm showing you here. See him running down here? That's the way feathers run. It's so bizarre and so amazing that the people that should be looking into this have blocked their minds off from it. That's what's upsetting to me, because this is our reality, this is our future, and this is our eternity. These dragons were everywhere. Now, what they were doing. This is another one he sent me. I don't know how the guy's got a nose for dragons. I'm telling you. And did I show you the blood vessels in here? Hold on, maybe I didn't. Look up here. I might have. I'm getting old. I forget a lot of stuff. See there's the blood that's in this dragon scale. See that? See the holes down in there? There's the blood coming right out. Everything has to be serviced with blood. And here's where the other, this is where the vein side is. You have an artery and you have a vein. See the black blood coming out here? That's the vein, and this is the artery side. Yeah, there's the red blood. And then that also goes right up to here in the red area. Yeah. This is a whole new area of exploration, and it should be looked at with a little more fun than dismissal. I really can't believe how dismissive everyone is. Not just the mainstream, it's virtually everyone. This is what boggles my mind, that people don't find this fascinating. I guess it's just me, but people just turn off at it. I just can't get that through my mind. Why? Why is truth rejected? Why is the lies loved and the truth despised? But the funny thing is exactly what it says in the ancient texts in the Bibles. Thoth too. It's not just the Bible. Thoth, Hermes, Mercury. I think he was all the same guy. And Enoch as well. And he might have been Jesus Christ. And he might have been the emissary that was sent to try to straighten out humanity, and they just never got it. Because I can tell you what, they ain't got it today.